You know, as a kid, we all talk about the things that we want to be when we grow up. There's two things I said I would never be: a business owner or a salesperson. The irony is, it's the two things that I love the most now. In this video, I'm going to talk about that journey and what caused me to be obsessed with business. When I started my career, I was in college. I was working at a grocery store. I did many different jobs within that grocery store. Everything from taking out customers' groceries to cashier to cooking fried chicken and serving bread pudding. And as a college student, it sure was nice to get leftovers for little to no cost. But I was in college. I eventually got a job at a large transportation organization in the country. Eventually, we were bought out by a corporate entity, Fortune 500 company. I think I talked about it in the last video. But many jobs there as well. I was spent 15 years there, so I moved around a lot inside of that organization in my 15 years, and really shaped me to be the person I am today. But it's so interesting how the world, or the universe I should say, kind of aligns things. I think in terms of process. I think in terms of linear point A to point B, and that's what transportation is. How do I get this package? You can go down from a package to a pallet to a massive generator or a wind turbine blade, right? How do I get it from point A to point B safely and intact? And that's the essence of transportation. So I learned a lot there, but I was able to really build a solid foundation of process and learn from some masterful business people on how to get an organization behind a common goal. I had one job there that I probably enjoyed above all. I was part of a team of people that started a pilot program within the organization, a department really. We had a small team of about 15 people, I think it was. That was the beta, so to speak, before the enterprise invested a lot of money into the full-blown department. And I was part of the team that helped transition from the beta to the full-blown department. One of my roles there was to train all of the incoming staff on the inside sales, basically, approach to brokering the freight. So I was in front of 50 people at a time consistently for months. It took months of preparation, and it took months for the training to be rolled out, and then also for the training to continue on. But I learned in that process that I love to help people be successful. I think that's what I learned the most, is I was able to take what I had learned and impart it on others in a way that they could also be successful. What was interesting about the whole thing is I said I would never be in sales, and that was the universe laughing at me for the first time that I can really recall. Not really a sales guy at heart. I'm not. But I found that relationships really helped me on that journey. I enjoyed the relationships aspect of it. I can't ask someone for sales, but I sure can talk about the value that I can provide to them and see if it's a fit. If it's not, then we move on. So that was the first instance of the universe having the last laugh. Once I got into business for myself, which that's a whole story in and of itself, because I said I would never be a business owner, remember? There's the second instance of the universe having a little laugh. I realized that the journey was phenomenal. It was chasing something It wasn't really tangible. However, it was chasing a goal that I had set out for myself in a different way. Pioneering in a lot of ways. I loved it. But to bring the sales aspect of it into it, I was part of an inside sales team. I was a manager. At the end of the day, it's interesting. I didn't actually have to do a whole lot of sales. I actually was a sales manager, not really one doing all the sales. So, but when I got into business for myself, of course, I had to sell. It was me, a little bit of equipment, a truck, and I had to get business. I had to pay the bills. So I got into it. I enjoyed the journey. I enjoyed the sales, but not sales as in walking indoors and trying to get people to buy from me. I enjoy the kind of sales where I build deeper relationships and referrals come. I became pretty good at that. Some would say great. Maybe I'm not going to go that far, but I became pretty good at it. I became known for that, actually, especially in my local market. People often said, if you need a guy, if you need a specific service or product in the area that we lived in, people would call me just because I had a guy for them. So on this journey, though, to get back into the whole the teaching aspect of it, I got to a point finally where I could hire someone. And I really enjoyed being able to teach again. I loved it. And teaching, again, just like sales, it's not about pushing a product or a service onto someone and trying to forcefully get them to purchase, to open up their wallet. That's not the way I roll. If it's a fit, it's a fit. The same thing with an employee. I taught them my way, but my hope was that they were better at it or could see opportunities that I wasn't able to see. And I really think that's where my success did lie at the time and does today, because my method of teaching is I'm going to teach you the framework, but we're going to work together to come up with the best solution for you, for your business, for your service, for your product. It's not about, I don't have all the answers. That's just the honest truth. Nobody does. But I have a framework, and I have a vision of point A to point B, to go back to transportation. I can get your client from point A to point B efficiently with the results that you desire. So in all of this entire journey, I really started to come into my own and really realize that my purpose in life is to use my way of thinking to help small business owners find the freedom that they set out to have. Now, that's not a fit for everybody. That doesn't resonate with everybody, and that's fine. I'm not trying to be all things to all people. But there's lots of testimonials out there where I have been able to help people, and I will continue to do that. It's only been I've been working with Clark for about 4 years now, and it's only been in the last 2 that I've been really able to articulate my purpose. I had a vision, and that's why I got into coaching. That's why I wanted to get into coaching, and I'm going to talk about that more. But I really fell in love with the process of business because I was able to see it in a linear fashion. I was able to break it down into how do I get a customer from point A to point B. Point A being marketing, how do they find out about me, all the way to how do they pay me. And you could actually take that one step further. How do I get a referral from them? Everything's a process. And that's the way I think. And it was because I was able to put it into those terms that I was able to fall in love with business. But why I fell love with that process, I haven't been able to articulate until the last year or two. I realized that business owners were living the E-myth. They were buried in their business trying to work harder to achieve the freedom. The truth is, less is more. If you're not able to stop doing the work, aka the jobs, in the case of a small local service business, if you're not able to stop doing the jobs, then you are never going to be able to get out of being imprisoned by your business. You're not ever going to get beyond having a job. You just happen to own the job instead of owning a business. I've been talking to a new client. He has been in business for about 10 years. Doesn't make very much profit. Not very much at all. And he should be making at least 20% profit in his business. He's been imprisoned by his business for the last 10 years. He's got a few years left before he's retirement age. And that realization has caused him to reach out and get help. So we're taking him through the process. He's within the first week, he's already starting to be excited by the free time that he's been able to give himself because he stopped doing the things that were contributing to him chasing fires all the time, metaphorically speaking. All that to say, my purpose is to help business owners build a business that is an asset for their life, not a liability. See you in the next one.